Welcome to Make a Path Presents. I'm Ronnie Hayes, and today we got a cover reveal for The Walking Dead issue 180, which is kind of cool to think about because issue 200, the big issue 200, is only about give or take 20 months away. And I say give or take because sometimes they do 2 issues a month. We don't know if there's any specials like that coming up, but around 20 months, we're going to get a big epic issue 200, so that's very exciting. What do you think they're gonna do, or what do you think they have planned in store for that issue 200? I can tell you right now, a shitload of variant covers. Another thing, if you're interested in the Walking Dead TV show, tomorrow's video is going to be an exciting one. I think I got a really good idea as far as Season 9 is concerned with this new character Georgie and the Whispers and Commonwealth from the comic book. A lot of fans are thinking or speculating they might be skipping the Whispers. Now, Gimple already confirmed we will get them on the original show, so tomorrow's video will touch on that. And like I said, I got a really good idea, so tune in tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and if the video's a little bit late, I don't know if it's like a glitch or something, but lately YouTube has been holding the videos in a processing state, and it's never been like that before. Once I upload it and it processes in like a minute or two, it's been fine, but lately it's been taking a few hours, and I don't know what that's about, and it's only every other now and then. So anyway, keep an eye out for that. That video will definitely be tomorrow. Now, back to this cover. I gotta say, I called it. It would be ridiculous for them to bring Eugene back or let them return without taking a peek at the community to make sure they are good people. Or maybe there's even some type of trade or networking they could do. If the governor is really in this position where she's leading over 50,000 people, she's smart enough to understand that she needs to just take a look at this community at Alexandria and see what they have, if anything, to offer. If this is going to be a community they can treat like an outpost where they can trade or maybe use Alexandria as a place to lay their head if they want to expand outwards and discover something beyond it. Think about how important that is. If Commonwealth, for whatever reason, wants to start exploring outwards, or any different missions take them outwards, if they're passing by the area around Alexandria, they can actually have an army sleeping near them. We have the fair on the other side of the wall. They did build a little mini hotel, didn't they? And that might be early setup for housing some of the army members from the Commonwealth, or some people from the Commonwealth. So we might see the story start to expand where we're blending the different storylines between our people at Alexandria and introducing new characters and following new characters and our old characters in a blended storyline dealing with something that relates to the Commonwealth people. Now, there's a lot of different side stories in The Walking Dead. There will always be a lot of different side stories. What do I mean by side stories? Like Maggie and Dante, for example. That is a side story. It might not become a main story. Maggie and Glenn, for example, became a big part of The Walking Dead. So we don't know what the Dante and Maggie storyline is going to evolve into, but I'm just saying, as a loose example, there are different side storylines. So right now, the big main storylines in helping us predict what's coming up. And at this point in time, I think for the first time in a long time, I actually don't have much, because I think the story can go in so many different directions. So because we dealt with the Whispers and then they're rebuilding the communities, that's one big story element, rebuilding the communities. The next one is Commonwealth. That's going to eat up a lot of storyline. This is the new big storyline. It has to be. It's such a huge community, and it's got to be an important part in the growth within the world of The Walking Dead, rebuilding civilization. Now, this might be a side story, but the only other big main plot, possibly, is Negan. What is going on with Negan and or the Saviors and Dwight and that whole thing? So that could be kind of a side story if it doesn't evolve into something major, but it could actually spill over into a big part of the story. I'm going to wrap those three all into one: the Saviors, Dwight, and Negan. Outside of that, unless there's something that they set up that I've just forgotten about over the issues, if I am, comment down below. Our real main focus is the Commonwealth community, and we haven't seen a lot. We're only a few parts in. It's, the introduction of the Commonwealth is only a 6-parter, but the only tease or tidbit we got is the Pam Milton has a really shitty son, and Mercer and his crew are not happy with the leadership, and they're not happy with their position within that society. And again, that could be totally misleading. We don't know if they're going to wrap that up in the very beginning of the next issue or if that's going to spill over into a major storyline. The governor might eventually need Rick and his people's help in order to fight off a revolt from Mercer and his own army. You know, the governor and the Commonwealth's own army raising up and a revolt. But then it leads into, why would she reach out to Rick? I mean, what could he do and his community? And yet again, it will be another war. You get what I mean? So there's a lot in the air right now. And I do think whatever's obviously, right, whatever's going to happen next has to deal with the Commonwealth community. And this community is so big that we could potentially see The Walking Dead just continue off into, and I don't want to call them side stories, but meaning there's nothing going to happen with the Commonwealth. It's going to stay a community, but within there, we'll go on little adventures. Let's just say, as a loose, generic example, you know, the governor sent a group of people out to explore a certain area. They didn't come back yet. Michonne and Negan, let's just grab different names since we're making shit up, and Rick, for the hell of it, even though he has a bum leg and he's probably never going on any of these missions, let's just say a group of the people at Alexandria want to pay the Commonwealth back for, maybe they give them a bunch of food and goods and stuff like that. So they decide to go out and explore and see where the Commonwealth group ended up and see what happened to them. And then we find out they ran into a different either group or a situation where it didn't end well for them. And it's kind of like a mystery yet exploration. You're exploring the world. It is a side story, but it could lead to a major story. Do you guys get what I mean? And I'm not saying they should do that. I'm saying that is a loose example showing how the Commonwealth itself might just be the community, and the story after it might not be that in a revolt. It could be what happens through the existence of a community this big. Establish stores and trade and barter. You can have our group at Alexandria. We can follow 4 or 5 different characters we like. They stay at Commonwealth at a little mini hotel. They go out to a bar, and we introduce this return of normalcy to some degree. But then they go out on these little missions for whatever different reason. I'm leaving that open. And that's basically all I have. Because again, other than this little tease with Mercer, we really do not know which direction they're taking this. And we really do not know what kind of conflict is coming up. So I'm sticking with, me personally, the Commonwealth is the community, boom. And out of that, we're going to spring off into different side stories where one or a few might become a main story down the road. Not a lot to pull from this cover, but I think that's the most interesting stuff that I can pull from the cover and the story so far. But you guys leave your thoughts and opinions down in the comment box. I'm done talking. It's your turn.